I'm a 23-year-old recent college graduate. I just got a studio art degree. I've learned that I'm made of multiple parts, mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical, and I can't really separate one from the other because they all interact and affect each other. I used to be extremely fearful and paranoid and had all kinds of crazy thoughts that I didn't know what to do with, and Stillwind has helped me to have tools and not just coping mechanisms, but ways to alter my thinking so that I can thrive and discover who I am. Something that has been really helpful for me to learn is that my identity is not in my past, and it's not what others think of me or even what I think about myself. It's about what God has said that I am and discovering that and who He has made me to be. But it's still definitely a work in progress. I used to be in a very dark place, and it's really helpful for me to know that I can overcome, and not just in the past but also in the future, and I'm so grateful for all the progress that I've made. If someone is discouraged in their healing journey, I have definitely felt that in the past. Sometimes I still wonder, am I making any progress? And my answer to that is, for one, look at how far you have come, and two, never give up. I know it's cliche, but there are times where I would plateau in my journey and feel like, am I even getting anywhere? And then suddenly a new technique, or maybe changing up medication, or even changing therapists. You never know what a change of circumstance is going to bring, and whether it's circumstances affecting you or you affecting circumstances, there's always room for growth.
What led you to writing a children's book?
Well, I've always been really interested in writing and drawing ever since I was a kid. And when I was in high school, I was really drawn to the hymn, His Eyes on the Sparrow, and I know He watches me. And in a way I can only describe as being through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, really. Over the course of about 2 days, I wrote this children's book that is an allegory of the gospel of Jesus Christ, specifically bent towards people who have been through abuse and trauma, things like depression or anxiety. And I use that with a cage, and then the survivor is a sparrow, and the Holy Spirit or Christ is a dove, and the perpetrator is a crow. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's a story about freedom and becoming purified and cleansed and freed from your cage by the Holy Spirit, and how even after the sparrow is freed, she still has to overcome and trust in the Holy Spirit. The book contributes to my healing as kind of like a milestone for me. If I'm doubting my progress, or I'm doubting, sometimes even if I'm doubting Christ Himself, I look back on how, what the words of that book mean to me, and what I was thinking and feeling when I wrote them, and how they still impact me today. If I'm going through mental darkness or spiritual stagnation, for me it's such a personal and beautiful testimony of just the love and kindness of the Holy Spirit, and how He sets me free. Like I said, my story, I've used it to preach to myself more than anybody, I think. And if you have a story to share, well, for one thing, Christ is always listening, but for another thing, if no one else will listen to it, it's still worth saying, because you need to hear it. Just keep talking until somebody will listen, even if that only person is yourself.